Okay. Well, I think we've got just about everybody on their way back, if not here. And so, just checking everyone who's back in. We would love to hear a quick readout from our rooms. Just about 3 minutes left in our session, so we'll go
If
just.
you want to go back to the menu, just click on join breakout and
There
breakout,
we
and
go.
you'll be able to
And
go
there's
back.
Yassine. Great.
Hi. I was just making sure that to bring everyone back. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And great. We've got our pin. Okay. But just in the interest of time, I know that we've been here. There were some fantastic discussions going on. I'm just going to go ahead and start the readout so that we can hear as people come back. But our research group, I believe you guys came back very first. Could we just hear a quick, let's try to keep it to just 1 minute, I guess, so we can get through a quick readout of some of the best practices and challenges that you discussed?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Leah. It was a really good discussion, very rich, and I hope the Jamboard will give evidence to that. If we look at the challenges we identified generally, I would say a kind of thinking that UDL is reliant on technology and the focus on technology. Then the focus on sort of Western Northern resources and training and facilities being shared in low, middle income contexts, which don't always transfer. And then the issue around scaling up. Mm-hmm. So we saw those as challenges, but on the other side, there were some very good examples shared of actually being mindful of the local context and taking time to understand the local context in order to arrange the training around what is available and what teachers are actually doing, what are the challenges they're facing in adopting UDL in their classroom. Another example was around using the local sort of resources available in the community and bringing in local researchers to assist with researching and documenting. And I think we finished off, and I think this was really great. It was from Betty, and she said, well, to focus on the principles rather than the framework. Not to you see UDL as a sort of checklist of forms and tick boxes, but rather looking at it as a sort of set of key principles that we can look at in the context of where we are working, and then support that inclusive environment that we want to create. So,
excellent.
Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So something really locally driven, locally responsive, not an inflexible framework that we're putting into place.
Sorry, just one more thing I totally forgot. Importance of involving parents and community.
Okay.
That's an area that's missing at the moment.
Great, thank you. Well, then let's see, policy, if you've made it back, could we get just a 1 minute readout of your discussion? I popped in on 2 different occasions, quite rich. Could we just get a 1 minute overview of the highlights of the best practices or challenges that you discussed?
I just will say something very quickly. We talked about actors, noting not only policy planners, but indeed parents, principals, leaders in society as being very important participants. That purposeful piloting is important, where you design to go to scale from beforehand. And then that though it's important to have a budget along with policy, that we shouldn't wait for the budget to be there, but move forward at the local level. And indeed, I've seen a feedback loop where from the bottom up, the decision makers at the national level who have been reluctant to go forward with UDL, with inclusive education itself, change because of the pressure from the schools, the teachers, the parents, and of course the children. So that would be a quick resume.
Thank you. Thank you. I love especially us looking at that, how do we drive action with policy, not just make the policy, but assure that there's actually action with it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And the systems change group, that too Quite a dynamic discussion. Could we get just a quick overview of the challenges and best practices that you discovered and discussed?
So really, it was a lot of the focus was the barriers that we're implementing, and folks put some rich things onto our Jamboard. So trusting teachers, we need to really, that's a barrier to systems change. A poor infrastructure, lack of policy in place, that's what was recognized in Rwanda. Access to adequate teaching resources. Institutional champions of UDL, making that's at institutional level. So not just the teachers, but everyone, and changing those mindsets. And then long held belief, students are empty vessels, then you need an expert teacher. So these are just some of the captures that we had around the barriers.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, exactly. As we talked about before, the UDL is a design framework, and we need good tools within it to be able to create quality environments. Thank you. Our classroom group, speaking of UDL in classrooms, can you tell us some of the best practices or challenges that you discussed?
Yasin, did you want to speak?
Okay, you can go. You can speak. I'm just doing some tech.
Okay.
You can go, please, Hailey, and then I will join you.
Okay. So our group had some discussions about different UDL strategies that can be implemented in environments with challenges. So that included providing teacher training, of course, but then also the use of certain strategies like pair work and small group activities, as well as peer support, especially in classroom settings with a large number of students, which we flagged is the case for a lot of participants, that the large classroom sizes, the lack of resourcing, the lack of training are all barriers to classroom level implementation. So we talked about different strategies, including these small group and peer engagement strategies to combat some of that.
Excellent. Thank you. We are just a few minutes over on time, so I'm going to just pass over to Louie Lord Nelson. She's going to talk to us about the white paper process, where we really hope to be able to capture the insights, the direct experience that you have shared with us today. Thank you, Louie.
Yeah, that you're welcome. So that is exactly the dream that Leah just posed, that we are hoping to capture as much as we can of this and place it in a white paper that would be just a direct reflection of this particular side event, and also capturing your voices. So for example, in our group, we did the Jamboard. We invited people to put information in the chat, but then we also created a Google form that people could share their experiences based on the 2 questions that we had in our areas. So we are really inviting you to continue your engagement with this topic and utilize the structures that your breakout rooms provided to you to give that input, to give that feedback. We'd love to incorporate those voices. I'm talking about this white paper and I'm hoping it's not going to be a book, but we'll try to keep it concise, but I think it will be valuable. We have many people actually who are here that have done tons of work, pulling together voices of people in the UDL community. And it blows our minds to see even how much broader it is. It just keeps getting richer and richer and richer. And it's so exciting to see. So we invite your voice. We hope you share your voice. Thank you.
And thank you to everyone for joining. It was so exciting to pull this session together, to see the outpouring of enthusiasm from our speakers and from the participant community. There were so many people registered. So we're happy to we will share the recording of this session on the website. We will be sure to follow up with anyone who was registered to be able to email with you on any updates that come along. We'll work on distilling all of your input into our white paper. So we can't thank you enough for being a part of this conversation because, as we said, UDL is a participatory, constructive approach, And it's wonderful to see all of the efforts around the world and the sharing of practical insights on how we can move forward. So we traditionally try to end our sessions with a screenshot of everyone giving a really collaborative, dynamic style. So Yassine, are we able to do that today? I guess we can all smile.
Yes, sure. Always
Okay.
have time for pictures. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just okay. Maybe if Hamza and Anas help me take screenshots, so we should just be able to have like different different screenshots. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
So please just smile. Make sure to open your camera if you are comfortable with that. Smile, but keep smiling since it's the internet. So make sure to capture the best smile that you have. Okay. So just keep smiling. Good. And thank you,
Great.
everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone. We'll keep in touch via the website and really look forward to pulling together all of your experience. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much, Leah.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.